Ladies and gentlemen, this is internet personality Vangelus, and if you've always liked the little Jason David in your Austin Saint, then you might be interested in this frankly Johnny S.H. Figuarts version of the Armored Red Ranger, coming out domestically as part of Power Rangers' 20th anniversary. I should probably mention going into this review that at the time of this recording, I actually haven't got the normal Red Ranger S.H. Figuarts release, so I'm not able to show them side by side. How embarrassing. Using a mixture of Green Ranger torso and biceps blended into a Red Ranger head and limbs, this figure's got all the sculpt strengths of both of those molds. The boot wrinkles, the etched-in diamond patterns, and the slick helmet are all present, as is the lack of jawline helmet clasps, which I still don't really care about. Also, an additional holster's been added to his belt for reasons. The paint is also just as strong as before. Nothing's overly slopped, and the detailing of the chest plate and the morpher buckle are quite intricate. The combination of red and gold is a much warmer palette than the cooler hues of the Green Ranger, but everything's clean, defined, and bold. The Armored Red Ranger doesn't just mix body parts between the Red and Green Rangers, his accessories are a two-ingredient fusion as well. Naturally, he's got fists for pounding putty patrollers into pancaked people paste. He also comes with air quotes hands for performing the Red Ranger's signature roll call pose, or for, air quoting. Like a dick. Dipping into things green and sometimes evil, the Armored Red Ranger includes the tighter gripping hands and particularly gesturing hands for use with the Dragon Dagger. The dagger itself is just as gorgeously rendered as the one that came with Tommy's own SH Figuarts entry. I'm glad to see that nothing was lost in piling this into the Armored Red box, and the inclusion of both pairs of dagger-centric hands is exactly what Bandai needed to do to maximize the value proposition of this figure. Further maximization comes in the form of less tight gripping hands, made to work with the Red Ranger's Power Sword, whose sculpt and fine detail paintwork is just as immaculate as the Dragon Daggers at this small scale. Thin gold-painted edges and the tampagraphing of the full-on Tyrannosaurus Rex insignia bring the sword up to the next level, and double up on the goodwill carried by the unblemished Dragon Dagger. Both accessories are making reappearances with this guy, and at no sacrifice to their own quality. Finally, the white holster's occupant is also our final accessory, the Ranger Stick. This looks nice, and it's also hardcore window dressing. The stick's only here to fill a holster, and while its sculpt and paintwork are very much on par with the Dragon Dagger and Power Sword, the lack of its blade or pistol modes are a sobering absence that likely allowed for the full delivery of both the green and red signature weapons. I don't mean to surprise or shock you guys, but the Armored Red Ranger is pretty much exactly as posable as the Green Ranger in every way. His joint work is strong, and his shoulder covers are pretty good, but subject to moments of jank that are happily covered by the golden chest plate, which itself prevents a few particular arcs of arm motion. Also, the gold chest plate is still a huge bother to remove, and still not intended to be removed. Double also, if you're buying the Armored Red Ranger in order to remove his armor plating, I don't think we necessarily are going to be able to understand one another on an intrinsic level. An obvious Tamashii web exclusive that we all saw coming, the Armored Red Ranger is very comprehensive and doesn't feel phoned in at all. My one and only disappointment with him is the lack of useful modes for his Ranger Stick, and I'm sure I'll have no shortage of those things once the rest of the team gets released. By the way, Bluefin are pushing this guy to straight and unencumbered retail domestically as part of the Power Rangers 20th anniversary celebratories, and they're even scooping Japan. The Armored Red Ranger is making his debut at the 2013 New York Comic-Con, where he'll be available for purchase a full month before he comes out in his Zyuranger box over on the other side of the Pacific. If you happen to be at the show, the Bluefin Tamashii booth should have scads of him. If the NYCC's already happened, I apologize for everything I did to you and your loved ones, and I also hope you picked up an Armored Red if you were looking for him. While this guy's not part of the core 6 original Rangers, he is the only real power-up form among them. Not that there's anything to downplay about that one time the Black Ranger wore it too. Anyway, while he's the one MMPR SH Figuart that isn't entirely necessary, he's so nicely done that I'd recommend grabbing him if you're already going for the team. And hey, if they do make an Armored Black Ranger, you can put together the black, red, and green trio of Chestplate Task Force Gold Pectoralger. Anyway, this has been internet personality Vangelus, and maybe I'll see you at the 2013 New York Comic-Con. There'll only be like 60,000, more like 90,000 or so people there. Surely we'll bump into each other. Ayy.